Car order. It's always been car order.
I strongly disagree.
That's the way it is. Ripped him out through the window in a nice way.
Just so I can go down and drink a carton while everyone punches on.
Just pisses me to tears. That's the worst thing you can do.
You shut up, you hack. Talking about boat ramps, this is what I wanted to get through from the start. What he said.
Oh, you just been an idiot.
And welcome to Chumming Up, the fishing, spearfishing and ocean adventure podcast that is proud to say I might live next door to an op shop, but my filleting table is not for sale, so stop knocking on my door, you silly old kooks. I'm very strong on that one, Leewold.
You should hide it around the back where most people have their filleting table, you idiot.
Don't tell me where to put my filleting table. And with me strongly agreeing with everything I'm saying is my co-host, Leewold Mitchell. How you going, Big Oss?
Yeah, good to be here. It's been a big week at Gamex, so
yeah. Fucking champion 7 metres and under.
Yeah,
tagging.
Tag and release, yep. Champion boat 7 metres and under, tag and release, and we caught the third most billfish out of any boat in the tournament. And
impressively, with all of that, you still cost me $1,500.
Yeah, well, after last time when we were doing the live updates midway through GameX, you were squawking on about owning us or some crap because you bought the boat in the Calcutta. We know you get paid if we came first or second, so we thought we'd just throw it a bit and come in at third. Fuck you.
Yeah, you can own a piece of shit, but it's still only worth a piece of shit. Anyway, I suppose we better move on to our guest for tonight's podcast, don't you reckon?
Mm-hmm.
It is a historic moment because this is the first prince to be interviewed in the last 12 months for not being a pedophile or being bossed around by his missus. Welcome to the podcast, John Prince.
Thanks very much.
Hey,
great to be here, I think.
Yeah, you're the first honest answer we've got. You, congratulations, just won the overall, is that what it's called? Overall fishing?
Yeah, it's overall, or they call it capture, but it is the champion boat of the whole tournament, capture and tag and release.
For Gamex, you got over the line. You happy with that one?
Oh, very, very happy. I was unfortunate I couldn't make it to start off with. I had to send my crew out by themselves. They did that bad. I just had to come and give them a hand. So I travelled lots of kilometres to come and pull them out of the shit. And we did really, really well on a couple of days and then really stuffed on the last day and we were very, very fortunate to get over the line.
Yeah. Did the big Steve Bradbury?
Oh, I completely stuffed the last day, yes.
Yeah. So how it works, Leewold, you might be best telling off the point scoring for overall.
Yeah,
roughly.
So the overall section, basically, you have to fill as many different line classes, which are all IGFA by IGFA rules. And there's 11 different line classes, and you got to catch as many different species on those line classes as you can. They're all recognised game fish species, and you tag billfish and you tag different types of sharks, hammerheads and tigers and stuff, and try and catch other game fish on as light a line as possible for a ratio of points. So John Prince's boat here, awesome, managed to do the best at that basically, but there was 4 boats, John, in contention on the last day?
4 other boats that should have won it on the last day. But they did as bad as we did on the last day. So they were just fortunate at the end. And everyone was unfortunate. A lot of good fishermen, a lot of good boats. Just that last day threw everyone out.
Yeah. So. Who were you fishing with? Who was all your crew you had?
I've got a crew that I fish with every year. Matt Arscott and Stevie Arscott, a couple of young fellas that come up from Perth to help an old man out. And we came runner-up last year. So we got 2 of the crew off the winning boat.
The super team.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
No, they couldn't fish their boat this year. One of the guys is a bit crook, so we took the wife, who took out champion female angler. Anna did a fantastic job. We grabbed one of their deckhands just to look after her a bit more, and he drinks a lot of beer, so he could also help me out. So, no, just all gelled and come together really, really well.
Yeah.
And I think Anna as well, not only did she took out champion female angler, but I think she was highest point scoring angler for the tournament as well.
Oh, yes, beat all the men by far. We're not, by quite a lot. It was really good to see.
Yep, we tried to get her on the podcast midweek during Gamex. She was literally hiding behind people. It looked a bit creepy from my point of view.
She was bobbing and weaving better than Muhammad Ali to not come on here.
Yeah, but Anna's intelligent. Why would she want to come and talk to you guys?
Well, that's why we got you. But you weren't on board that first day when they hooked.
Oh, the second day they were on a fish for 6 hours or so. Yeah, no, if I had been there, would have been different. I've got a cattle prod, I've got a stick.
Yeah.
I've got 2 thumbs that I've told them to use and tell them all the wrong things. After a couple of hours, if you haven't got a fish, and the opportunity or the chances get slimmer and slimmer, so you need to go hard or go home.
Yep.
The hard bit is with that particular fish, though, they hooked it right at lines out. So although I do agree with what John's saying, the longer you take, the more fishing time you also lose. But on that particular instance, they had nothing but time to burn because they weren't chewing into fishing time. They'd gone overtime.
But it also gets harder when the sun goes out.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I haven't been in that situation.
And it's dark
myself.
and you can see the boat ramp in the distance and people on the shore think, it's nice to be at the pub.
Yeah, you only lose money at the pub, not fish.
No.
What sort of fish were we looking at? Have they said?
Oh, they're mentioning 100 kilos plus Blue Marlin, Black Marlin on 8 kilo line.
Yeah.
So it was a big ask from the start, really big ask.
Yeah.
And I believe they did well to keep it hooked up for so long. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like you said, that nighttime situation makes it pretty difficult. Can't quite tell if you're too close or close enough to the line type thing.
Well, the deckhand we inherited with Anna, he was real concerned because he'd run out of beer, so that made things a hell of a lot worse. So, no, it came together well, really, really well for what it was. We had more hard luck stories down the bottom of the Gulf. He hooks huge hammerheads, which you don't want. You want small hammerheads. You want small things. So we hooked 3 really, really big sharks and come to grief on all of them. So.
Yeah.
So in that, you hooked all of them on 6 kilo line?
We were silly enough to hook them all on 6 kilo line, yes.
Yep. And when you had hard luck, I heard that sharks are obviously notoriously hard to get the tag into because they're thick-skinned. One of them got hit with the tag pole but never got the tag in.
We hit one in the tail with the tag pole, but the tag didn't go in, which again is unfortunate. We didn't have control of that fish. The fish had control of us, so we don't mind saying we didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all 3 of those hammerheads, you got the wire man got hold of the wire on?
We had them within range, all 3. 2 of them definitely on the wire.
Yeah.
We snapped one of them off on the leader, 400-pound leader.
Yeah, right.
2 boys decided to just hang on and not let go. Sounds like a rifle shot going off and it stands in low. So, no, it was unfortunate. The funny thing, we're still trying to work out if it's legal or not.
Here we go. Now that you've already got the trophy.
Yeah, allegedly.
We hooked a big hammerhead. We got it to the boat, nearly to grab the leader, and the hooks come out. And you can see the leader and pull the line in a bit, grab hold of the leader. The shark turn around and come back and takes another bite.
Yep.
So we're thinking, is that legal or not legal? So we let it go. And then is it another capture after that? But it didn't make any difference because they snapped that off about 5 minutes after that anyway. But there was great debate as to what was going on with illegal, not legal, or
that's a great actual thought. I've had tiger sharks numerous times, same situation, not where we've physically got to the leader, but where you fight them for like 10 minutes, like proper fight them, even on 24 kilo line. They fall off, you start winding the bait in, they turn around and eat it again. So theoretically, you could say if you may have even tagged that fish, pull the hooks on it, turns around, eats again. Can you tag it again?
Yeah.
It needs to be discussed in greater depth with over more beer. But we talking to tiger sharks, we got a nice tiger shark and it came up the side of the boat and it rolls over and opens its mouth and out comes a seagull.
Oh,
Full
really?
of feathers and everything. Yeah, the whole... Yeah,
Fuck, yeah.
a complete mat of feathers across the top of this scabby-looking half-digested seagull. So they're definitely opportunity feeders.
Yeah, I've seen it once where on the charter we were watching it where a seagull was on the water and a tiger was like slowly coming up underneath him, and the seagull just like must have sensed it and taken off. It was like, you know, where you're just watching something going, this is going to be awesome. And then, but that's fucking cool.
Yeah. These hammerheads we're talking about down the bottom of the Gulf, they're huge. Like some of them, the fin's sticking about 4 foot out of the water, and you see it coming across the coming towards your bait. Quick, pull that out of the way.
Yeah.
Don't catch that. And you're always too slow.
Yeah, fuck, they got big fins too.
Yeah.
They look like they're a big shark, and then their fins make it look like they're a fucking. They got like the Jaws looking fin coming through.
Oh yeah, these things are 3-4 foot high, sticking out of the water. And you think, oh, how big is that bloody thing? Who's going to grab that?
Yeah.
And how big was the tiger shark you tagged, John?
Tiger shark would be chasing a couple 100 kilos.
Yeah, but obviously, you know, a couple 100 kilo tiger shark to a couple 100 kilo hammer, the hammer has them licked for power every day, doesn't it?
A hammer on the lead is absolutely, very, very powerful and unpredictable. It just does what it wants to do.
Yeah, they turn on themselves, where a tiger generally will roll up a bit.
He'll roll up the trace for you and actually pat him.
But the tigers are so hard to actually get the tag in. They're like bulletproof. Just it's so hard.
No company's made a good tagging system yet.
Nah.
For the tags that we use for sharks.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, okay. I've never actually even tried to tag one before, so.
Oh, it's a nightmare. You bend the end of the tag pole, and it is a genuine nightmare.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Is there more skill with the tagging, like compared to billfish, or is it more a little bit of luck?
Oh, yeah. It's a bit of both. You got to have a really dumb but strong wireman that just holds on for dear life. The trick to tagging a shark in a tournament, because you just want the tag in with a tiger shark, is try and get them in the mouth or somewhere soft inside. Tagging them on the normal bits you would tag an animal, a fish, is just impossible.
No good.
Nah.
Yeah,
for the research part, leave the next guy trying to read the tag when it's in the mouth.
Yeah, but, you're trying to get the points, so.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's something someone's got to figure out, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't, going just in a generalisation of tagging to put something out there, I heard probably 6 months ago of a new system that's being developed for tagging billfish as well, where we may eventually, luckily, do away with the physical tag, and it's just got like a hollow core point on the tag pole, and it takes a DNA sample, and then that may or may not even Bluetooth it to your phone with an app or something, and knows how many fish you've tagged. You don't even need to say it's a tiger shark. It knows that through the DNA sample, knows it's a black marlin.
Yeah.
And then,
if someone else does it, it's going to show up.
That's right. So it goes, that one fish was tagged twice in the tournament.
Yeah.
Or, it was tagged in Indonesia, and people can check that database around the world. Anyone, someone in Switzerland can look up the database on black marlin, tiger sharks, hammerheads, whatever. So I don't know if that technology is going to be something that I'll luckily get to see in my fishing time, or it's a dream, or if it's next week.
Yeah. You wouldn't think it'd be that far away. It doesn't sound that complicated.
No, well, it sounds awesome, like instead of, like a lot of new guys come to fish the tournament, and lemon sharks don't count as a shark species, and there was a lemon shark with a tag in it this week, and a lot of people don't know the difference between blue and black marlin. This potential system can do all that for you.
Yeah.
It might even be able to age them or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Fuck. Limitless. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think in my time, there's been, I think it was a blue marlin weighed in as a black marlin, or a black marlin weighed in as a blue marlin. So, I mean, it's not, it's a handy bit of gear to have if it's able to do that sort of thing, which you wouldn't think,
Yeah.
it should be able to.
Well, that's right. And once it's built quite a strong database, it might be able to tell you instantaneously, like at the presentation night, well, 100 black marlin that were tagged Indian Ocean specific, but two of them have the same genomes or whatever as Pacific black marlin.
Yeah.
Why are those two? They've crossed over, or is there an interbreeding, or and it's limitless the information they could get from something like that.
Well, I've had 2 tags recaptured that I've tagged, or been tagged on my boat, and one was in Papua New Guinea, and the other one was off the coast of India.
Yeah, wow.
And that was from tagged here in Exmouth. So
Yeah,
there is information being gathered all the time.
yeah,
on
wow.
it. And what you're talking about, Lee, is great, because at the moment we're putting a tag in and we're relying on someone else capturing that. If, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
But what you're talking about, it's instantaneous, and
Yeah.
you've got that information.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
And
right.
are the sailfish from Broome the same as the sailfish from Exmouth? And all those questions can be answered virtually on the spot, not still guessing.
Yeah, that's right. Well, even things just in the tournament itself, you could go, well, all the fish, because, if it's on an app, it'll have GPS of exactly where it was tagged as well, because it goes through your phone.
Yes.
And it goes, well, how come all the fish that were 100 metres or shallower caught were male and all the fish outside 100 metres were female or something like that, just for that tournament even, because it could presumably identify gender as well.
Yep. That's that information that we're not getting.
That's right.
There, the work's being done, the hard part's being done, but we're putting a piece of plastic in it saying goodbye to them instead of grabbing the information there and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that'd be really cool. And it would actually, like you said, be something where fishermen would be actually really fucking necessary.
Yep.
Whereas, like you said,
We could be like scientists.
yeah, that's it.
John, the scientist, how good would that be?
Yeah, John Prince Science. Yeah, like you just spoke about how you've had 2 billfish captured in other countries. How many Gamexes roughly have you fished? Do you know?
Well, I missed the first 3 days of this tournament in 30 years.
30 years,
So
yeah.
I fished 30 Gamexes straight. Sorry, I missed one in the middle. My wife had fished more than me. So in 30 years, I've missed 1 complete Gamex and 3 days. But my wife fished without me. So,
you sounded hurt.
yeah, no, I was very, very hurt.
That's all right. I accidentally called her the wrong name during the auction because someone was yelling at me from there, and she just gave me the biggest
She
dirty.
wasn't happy
She
with
was off me.
She's that auction's best customer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she bid against herself a couple times. So in that 30 years, how much have you seen the tournament change?
Ah, yes. The fishing procedures, etc., have gone that far ahead. We used to go out, turn right, and trawl all half the day, then turn around and trawl back the other way. That was a complete day.
Yep.
Now you've got to go everywhere. You've got to go here, there, the phones, the radio, all the contact. Everything's changed. Fish never used to be there. They're always there now. I think that perhaps they were there before and we just never went there. But, I don't know. We changed Gamex fishing times a little bit, which changed the species of fish you catch.
Yep.
So from November to March changed a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Different times of the year, different fish come in and you really can target them and know what you're doing. Now, we're not sure what we're doing. So, yeah, it's changed a hell of a lot. I've gone from knowing exactly what I was doing to knowing very, very little now. So,
And still winning.
yeah, it's still winning.
Yeah. So how many have you won?
We had a time there in 2007, 8, 9. I think we won 3 years in a row. We've had a lean period for 8 years. We've had a couple of runner-ups.
Yeah.
But maybe 10 years we haven't won it. So, it's been second a few times, but it's getting harder and harder. These younger guys, either I'm not young anymore, but these young fellas are just so keen and enthusiastic.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like there's a lot more research put in before the tournament goes in, or is,
Like pre-fishing.
yeah. Would that be right, or is that?
The biggest drama we've had is the guys from Karratha do a lot more species fishing than we do. We get suckered into the marlin fishing.
Yeah.
So during the year, we'd go out catch marlin and not worrying about all the species, whereas a lot of other towns don't have the marlin fishery we've got. So they'll push the species and get really, really good at it.
Yep.
And then they come down here and kick our ass.
Yeah, well, they have some exceptional anglers because, like you said, they practice it all the time. That's their bread and butter. So they come down and the competition is so fierce. But I think you've won 2 lots of 3, not just that one, haven't you, John? You've had 2 hat tricks of winning champion boat overall.
But I don't like to think about it. I just start worrying about next year.
But how many times? You must have won it maybe 10 times, John, maybe more?
I'm not sure, Lee. I think the first 2 years I didn't catch a fish.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. The first year I didn't catch 1 fish. The second year I caught 1 fish. And then from there on just slowly started to pick up.
Well, that's bloody good to hear that, actually, because this year particularly there's a lot of new guys fishing new boats. And as you see new people come in, and obviously people want instant success in a tournament like this, but like you're arguably the overall's probably most dominant competitor that it's had. And like you're saying, how the competition's changed the way it's fished, that's probably due to your efforts a lot in way. You've shaped the way overall's been fished in the past and in the present, obviously. And to hear that, like guys can come in and if you haven't done it before, maybe start looking at like a 3-year plan before before you can start really sink your teeth into it.
One of the better things I see coming out of Gamex, the Exmouth Game Fishing Club, is if people ask, the answers are there. Every single person will help. They will. They're not going to tell you their favourite spot, give you the GPS coordinates, lend you the bait, and give you their rod, but they'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
So where to go, how to go about it. The information is there readily available. And when you get into shit at the boat ramp or coming in out of the boat ramps, everyone's there to help. Sometimes it might be a bit hard to start off with. Depends on how you ask.
Yeah. They'll be filming it, but then they'll help you.
Well, that's right. Well, yourself personally, this tournament, John, you towed another boat in that was 10 mile out of your way on the way in to weigh in.
The truth is we reached to turn the radio off. You can hear no one else calling in. You think, shit, there's no one else calling in. We might be the closest, and I wouldn't like to stay out there overnight. So
that's it.
Sea Rescue would get there. It just takes a long time to get the boat in the water, and then they'd have probably 26 mile to travel to it. We had 10 mile to travel to them. We're fortunate our boat's got enough power to tow them back in, explain them that we wouldn't be slow. And we managed to get, we're sitting on 18 knots, 19 knots.
Towing them.
Yeah. So you mentioned that and what you drink, I'm guessing. Yeah.
So coming in from, you guys would know, coming in from the ledge, you've got probably quite a few mile of choppy water.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And so we snapped the rope a couple of times and shit. So then once you get into the Gulf, the swell stops. You've got a good run then. You can get her up and get her planing. And so we get someone every second year, I think. The year before last, we got a couple that came in and the guys appreciated the faster than 8 knot tow. It wasn't the 8 knot tow we expected. Thank you very much. So we went past the jetty at Bundeegan through the ropes at about 15 knots.
Shit.
Just keep going. And so into Bundeegan, then out at the back end, just to try and get back for the weigh in.
Yep.
So,
yeah, righty.
But again, that year, quite a few of the boats, Bernie especially, were offering to come and get them.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, John. We'll come. But we were closer at the time again. It's just as easy to come pick them up.
Yeah. Well, I think it wasn't GameX, but the heavy tackle tournament when Dirk and Healy's boat went up in flames. I think you sort of seen how quickly everyone dropped everything and started heading over there. Because, I mean, like you said, no one wants to be out there in the same situation, and fuck, it can always happen. So
yeah, we had a 22-mile run that day down towards them.
Yeah.
And, really fast in rough conditions because you know the guys are in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and when the bear went down, that was all fun.
Yeah, that's right. We were there then in your boat.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was a 30-foot black watch sunk on a day Blue Marlin fishing. We were out there. And, they called on the radio and called up John's boat Awesome and just awesome the bear. And before he even said anything, we all looked at each other. Something's not right. Just the tone in his voice. And then by the time we got there, boat was half under, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were very fortunate. And again, I think just a skin fitting come off.
Yep.
And down she went.
Yeah. Doesn't take much. Like I think in the heavy tackle tournament again, that other boat that just flipped.
Yeah.
That was the Better Billfish tournament, wasn't it?
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah. So I mean, fuck, it's always happening to someone.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it's me.
A lot of the time it only happens because you're doing it. If you're not out on the water, you're not going to have a boat that sinks, are you? So, there's a lot of armchair experts out there, but sometimes stuff just happens.
Yeah, keep your boat in the driveway and you can talk shit all you like.
Well, I've been sitting on the top of my boat upside down off the back of Rot Nest, trying not to cry.
Yeah. Same boat or?
No, the one, awesome one. First
one?
Awesome,
That's why it's awesome too.
It's too awesome.
Okay, yeah. Do you have a story behind that?
Yeah, boat fell over.
Yeah, boats aren't supposed to be upside down.
It's actually a manufacturing fault. A cat between the two Swansons is supposed to have been a solid pipe, which all the electrical gear ran through, but it was just two spuds sticking out each side. It wasn't joined all the way across.
Yeah, okay.
So we were catching dolphin fish, having a fat time, and a bit of plastic had come off one of these spuds or bits of pipe sticking out the side, and tunnel filled with water during the day. And on the way home, we could feel the boat going against the swell. So we rolled into the swell, not with it.
Oh, shit.
So one side was completely full of water.
Yeah.
And just ended upside down. Let the flares off, did everything we're supposed to do. But it was at Rot Nest, there was a big weekend, and the Qantas jet was due over, so they wouldn't put any planes or put anything in the air. So we're sitting there, it's getting dark, and Mum. So I had to dive in and get all the life jackets and all the stuff. And so imagine the boat's upside down. Everything changes. You go through the cabin door, and instead of bending down to your right to pick up the life jackets, they're up in the left hand corner. Oh, shit. And I put a bit of rope around me that we'd got. And the guys thought I must have been down there a bit long, and I had a bit of air in there, and they're pulling me out, and I'm trying to pull myself back in. So I didn't want to go out and have to come back again, so I'm trying to grab everything. They're pulling me.
Yeah.
So, and then probably about an hour and a half, they had skydivers, and we could see planes and everything at Rot Nest. And then about an hour and a half, I think the airway was cleared, so they were allowed to go into it, and a little plane came over and wiggled its wings at us. We thought, thank fuck for that.
Yeah.
But I can remember the boat going over and seeing all these rods just spearing past me going to the bottom of the ocean. A nice $2,000.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Down she goes. Nice outfit, gone.
Oh,
The clothes, the wallet. End up at Rot Nest. Big party weekend with absolutely nothing to your name, mate. Nothing.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Got $100 off the water police lent us $100. So, big night. Yeah.
Funny how you said you lost your wallet. Just going back to the story, it reminds me of when Healy's boat burnt in the heavy tackle. Heard a story. The third guy that was on board ran to quickly get his phone amongst the inferno in the cabin. Thought, I'll go and get my phone because obviously that'll be useful. Ran in, reaching around while it's burning hot, grabs it, looks at it. Oh, no, that's not my phone. It's Healy's wallet. Throws it back in, reaches around, grabs his phone and runs out. And I was there when he was telling Healy, and Healy's like, I had $5,000 cash in that, you idiot.
I could have bought you 3 phones.
Yeah. You go for the effort of grabbing it. Maybe just take it out with you.
Just take it.
That's so good.
Well, that Lee was like when the bear was going down. Remember Smithy went back over and we're telling him to grab his chair, and because it was going down reasonably quickly, but he just bought this great big flash skipper's chair. Grab the chair, mate. You'll be, here's my wallet stuck in the chair. Yeah. Oh, I should grab that, I guess. So, different things. The sounder, grab the sounder, grab. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, grab the beer, we'll be right.
Yeah, Punisher's got a bottle of rum under his arm. We're like, get the 2 sounders out of the dash. He's got the rum.
Fuck, that sounds my first boat accident when I was 7. My dad bought a new boat like fucking 2 weeks before and flipped it. Alexander Bay down near Esperance. And there's me, one of my sisters, and there's a couple other kids. And we all fucking clambered on top of the boat upside down, and they sent the eldest girl in with the esky and fucking she swam into the rocks with that, and we're sitting on the boat upside down, and we could see her get picked up by this crew that were going to come out and rescue us, and fucking all me dad and his mate could say was fucking, I bet that bitch has given away all our fucking beers. That's all they were fucking worried about. I was like 7. This other kid was like 5. Fuck, better not give away the beers. So you, obviously you had a good crew and you enjoy that. You have fished with me and Leewold in a tournament.
Yeah.
Do you keep the same sort of attitude as what Leewold keeps on his crew, or?
I try not to shout at my crew as loudly or as much as Lee does, but again, we didn't deserve to be shouted at because we were bloody good, mate. We were real good. We were just victimised, I think, picked on. I'm pretty sure if we'd taken that to some tribunal or somewhere, we could get money.
Yeah, I think so.
You shouldn't be yelled at that loudly or
I
that
don't
often.
think you're allowed to talk to people like that.
Yeah,
Well,
you
that
are.
some of the words were a bit hard.
It took me like 10 days of drinking just to forget that week.
Yeah, no, so we're looking forward to doing it again. I've got those earmuffs we talked about.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Yeah, it was funny. I brought it up because I was listening to one of the podcasts the other day while I was editing it, and it sort of sounds like I'm picking on Leewold on the podcast all the time. And I'm like, fuck, if these people only fucking knew, you know?
If they could meet him,
Yeah.
they'd understand.
Yeah.
I think it's more so if anyone's seen you running the deck, fucking hell, Mother Teresa herself would be tearing you a new one.
I heard she was a fucking stickler for don't keep the fucking swivels fucking open, you dog. Yeah, I do want to know, like I seen your crew this year, Leewold. They all seemed happy. Rob said it'd been the most enjoyable ever. Was that just you lightened up on them because I had the fucking money on yous, or what?
I think I'll just go back to what I was saying before. They're a good crew. There's a reason you get yelled at. Like, that's pretty much where it's at.
I think
They did what we were supposed to do.
I think it was blowing a bit so they couldn't hear him as much.
Yeah, that might be it. Fuck, it would have had to have blown a bit for him not to hear him.
He's up the top yelling and screaming. They couldn't hear him.
Yeah, this is fucking peaceful. Like, I don't think we mentioned. So you led on the from the second last day, is that?
Yeah, second last day.
And then the last day, the 4 boats that were in the run and went chasing marlin.
They're all silly boys went chasing marlin, us included, and no one got any. Like, nothing was caught in the 4 boats in contention on the last day. Anyone could have won it, but we all went chasing marlin, but everyone else was catching marlin except us.
Yeah,
Like, we had a guy next to us had 5 shots,
yeah.
and we didn't. Well, we broke 2 lackeys during the day. Both were on a wave. So just a really, really bad, frustrating day. And you know that everyone else has caught something.
Yeah.
Then it's finally you get in and you what? You what? You sit there at the weigh-in looking. You see someone come up and, oh, they got tagged. Shit. Oh, no, it's just a shark tag. Oh.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's really, really last-minute stuff. You got no idea who's won or who's done anything. So,
Yeah.
a very, very interesting tournament.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. Exciting. That's the most exciting day to not catch anything.
Yeah.
Very, very
Really,
exciting.
it doesn't happen like that often.
And as Gamex has been since I've been involved fishing it, the capture section come down to less than half a fish.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it at the
Very
end
little.
at the last minute, and it seems to have been the case in the last 8 years or so where they are finite right till the end, which is awesome.
Well, we lost or came runner-up last year by about 130 points, and I think we won this year by about 130 points.
Yeah.
So,
Fuck.
No,
So
it's-
it's a good section to watch.
very, very interesting. Getting less and less people interested in the capture side of things, which is good for us, real easy. It is hard. You catch bait, you got to clean your boat, you got to do all sorts of stuff. You got to think. You can't go out and just catch marlin all day. Don't take anything away from the marlin fishermen, mate. They do a
fuck 'em.
fantastic job, but it's just different.
Yeah. I think Leewold said that, and so's Rob. Is that part was pretty enjoyable this year, not having to,
Yeah, the workload's a lot less.
Yeah.
It's a hard one because I'd love it happens at the same time in the same tournament where I'd love to fish both of them. I'd love to do the 6 days marlin fishing against the fleet and 6 days capture fishing. They're both so good.
Can you remember opening the esky on the last day?
Opening it.
Yeah, the esky with the bait esky on the last day. They should have thrown that out a few days ago.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Cleaning all the mess up, all the bait you haven't thrown out. And
shit.
Just starting to get on that turn and
Yeah.
But as this is how close it was. The team got him on, who come runner up to you guys for champion boat overall. We were they were next to us out marlin fishing on the last day, and we caught 2 blacks. They hooked a black. We watched them hook up. We called them on the radio to see which way they wanted us to move because we were driving directly at them and we didn't want to ruin their chances of catching it. They had it on and it fell off, and that one capture would have won them champion boat overall. So you're talking finite pieces on the last day of, you know, could have gone anyway. It's pretty cool.
A good friend would have just fucking chopped him off for you, mate. But
ring John up. This is my account details. How bad do you want him not to catch it?
You know, it's nothing harder than boats all around you hooking up, mate. Just catching fish and shit.
yeah, what am I doing wrong?
Exactly right, yeah.
Yeah.
And as soon as you change your tactics, that's when you don't catch something. You start buying into what other people are doing.
We extended the dredge, put more stuff on the dredge. Then after a couple of hours, that's scaring all the fish away, so we took it all off.
And that's where the really good bill fishermen, they know how they want to fish and they fish like it. You know, they have faith, which is, you know, a very big thing in it, I think.
Yeah, we should have gone deep dropping for swordfish. Would have had more chance on the last day than what we did. So.
Yeah. You have caught a sword, haven't you?
Well, hasn't everyone? That one time we went, we got a sword.
Well, one from one.
One from one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone says, why don't you go again, John? Well, why would you want to?
Yeah.
I can't improve.
Yeah.
You've caught one of them deep water threshers as well, John?
That was good, yeah.
Yep.
So with like all the fish you've caught, you've obviously caught all the billfish that you can catch at Exmouth besides a short bill spearfish, I assume.
Yeah, no, I think we got some of them in the Gulf, like back in the early 90s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's a time there when a few were caught.
Yep.
And they were definitely spearfish. They weren't like mistakes.
Yeah, okay.
And just seemed to have disappeared. Like, I don't know why. There's no scientific evidence saying they were, whether we were just young and dumb and didn't know what we were looking at, but they weren't sailfish.
Yeah.
They weren't little blacks.
Little
They
blacks.
were definitely different.
Yeah, but this is a topic that intrigues me a lot. I've always been very sceptical just through the fact that I haven't seen any photos.
You're a liar. Sorry.
No, just through I haven't seen any photos, and obviously spearfish are known to be a very deep water species, but that's not to say that I know personally there used to be a lot of pink snapper in the Gulf. I used to catch them. Now you rarely see them. Does it, potentially, I suppose it's plausible for me that a pocket of water pushed them in and then they've stayed in there. Well, there's a lot of food in there, sailfish are in there. You know, I would have loved to have personally seen it, I reckon.
Back to your scientific database tagging.
Yeah. That'd be huge, wouldn't it?
Yep, answers are there. That's very cool. And speaking of the sailfish in the Gulf, John, me and you fished the Masters comp last year and we took it out as winners.
One of us fished the Masters comp last year. The other was the guy up the top yelling. Oh, sorry, Lee, no. I was fortunate enough to be the rod man on Lee's boat for the Masters, yes, and we did really well.
Yeah, we took that out with sailfish. That was a good week.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
So is there any tournaments you haven't won? Or like at Exmouth, obviously?
Oh, the heavy tackle and all that. It's only been going a few years since I've come off the boil. And the younger, fitter crew seem to do a heap better in that than we do. So
Yep.
I'd like to give it a run. It's back to the amount of fishing you do.
Yeah.
So I'm more interested in catching fishermen than fish nowadays. I like to see people that haven't caught fish before come out and catch a fish on my boat. Great. I'm just a amateur, nothing to do with professionals. I don't do charters, anything like that. But I end up with lots of people coming out and fishing. Mate had a group of farmers come up from down south, and could I take them out? So I thought, well, yeah, but we could take mate's boat. It's even bigger and better.
Yeah.
So we took Tomo's boat out, and 6 of them got their first marlin one day. We went out and got 6 marlins
Shit.
for 6 farmers, and they loved it, mate. Absolutely loved it. And you can tell. And that forms friendships that last for a long time.
Yeah.
You've taken them out and caught them a few fish. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've personally seen that with the game fishing scene. You're a big ambassador of the club, have been since I've known you. And when I come along to game fish and do the capture light line thing, you were very helpful for me. Last year's champions, Pull and Skirt, for a couple of years there before, you were helping them through the intricacies of it, because obviously there's a lot to learn. So you've done a good job at building up your competition, maybe a little too well at times. But
silly is the word that seems to spring to mind real quick. Yeah. Now, pulling skirts have done well over the years, the last few years, especially. So, 3 years they've fished it and they win it?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, very good.
It's when they come and borrow my burley and all that sort of stuff. That's the hard part.
Yeah, just take your percentage. So what's on the bucket list? Have you got goals?
No, fishing-wise, no, I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I have been overseas and fished a few tournaments and all that, and I have discovered the best fishing place in the world.
Yeah.
It's probably definitely Exmouth.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, I've been to Costa Rica, I've been to Hawaii. The mention of the amount of fish and all that, what I've seen, the days I've seen here in Exmouth personally, you can't compete.
Yeah, okay.
Now, we've had 15, 16 fish days.
Yep.
We haven't caught them all, but we've seen 15 or 16, annoyed them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pissed them off.
You were telling me you had a 4-way hookup on Black Marlin one
I've
day.
had a 4-way hookup on Black Marlin, yes.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Very interesting.
Again, Lee, this is a few years ago. We were having triples and quads like often.
Yeah, of marlin, not just
on
sailfish.
Marlin.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that personally for probably 5-8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen lots of fish, but not the quads, not the...
Yeah. Well, that was when the numbers getting tagged in Gamex were fucking right up there.
Even before that.
Yeah,
So
okay.
before that, we'd have that comp around this time of the year. It was a billfish bonanza then, and we were out there getting 3 triple hookups.
Yep.
Just haven't seen it since. I know some of the other guys, other boats have.
Yeah.
And they're getting a few big marlin hooked up a couple at a time and all that. But the inside with the small blacks having multiples is more of a rarity now than it was.
Yeah.
And remember, you've got 10 times the amount of boats now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Do you have thoughts on that, like for a reason, or just something that happens, or?
Again, people talk about the La Nina and all that, the different currents and different times.
Yep.
I know enough about fishing to know I know fuck all.
Yeah.
You just go out fishing and that's it. You catch a fish, great.
Yep.
People talking about currents and lines and temperatures and all that. I am interested in it, but I don't race out and buy it all because
It doesn't
don't
matter.
do it
You're
enough.
going fishing
You're going
anyway.
fishing anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I always found that weird how many people would ask me when I was driving bottom fishing charters whether I had a fishing almanac.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm going fishing anyway. What's the fucking matter? Like, if it's true and the best time to go fishing is, it don't fucking matter. I'll get paid. I got to go fucking fishing.
You're not going to go out there just for the half hour.
Yeah. No. So I always found that weird. Yeah, that's interesting because I mean I do see like on the bait side, like I actually seen someone put up a video today about the hardy heads at Bundegi, like the pack they swam through, this massive pack, and I was just like, that would have been a small pack.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, like 15, 20 years ago when Bundegi was just all hardy heads and you had those massive big mackerel coming into the jetty. But similar thing, like who knows whether the cycle is 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, because we're only here for such a small time.
Yep. And are you down there less now than you were? So are you missing some of them?
Yeah.
That's what I keep asking myself, is my fishing time is reducing each year because I do other stuff.
Yep.
So am I missing stuff, and is it still there and I'm just missing out on it? So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Other thing is, John, you've obviously been involved in a lot of exceptional captures, line class captures and that. Your wife and your daughter have held multiple Australian and world records, I would have said.
Yeah, yes.
So is there any of those that really stand out that you've been a part of?
I was part of a world record that stands now on my boat. Smithy's got that mackerel, a 2 kilo or 17 kilo mackerel on 2.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was a huge day because it took him probably under an hour.
Yep.
And then my wife hooks up on a fish on 3 kilo and she's into it for 3 hours and then comes up dead and it's about, 8 kilos.
Yeah,
So we're telling her the whole time that it's huge.
Yeah, it's going to be 40 kilos.
Yeah.
So
17 on 2, you reckon's the best capture you've been a part of, John?
yeah, we're at Rottnest in the rough, Jan caught a big marlin on 24 stand-up. Again, going back a lot of years.
Yep.
That was
pretty
big
cool.
at the time, yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And obviously, there's a lot of fish in there, that swordfish and the threshers and multiple records.
Yep.
Have you been down doing a bit of bill fishing at the moment off Rottnest? Were you doing that before?
I caught the first billfish in Perth waters this year.
Yeah, okay.
And they had the Marlin Cup down there a couple of weeks ago, and I was fortunate enough to be in Perth at the time, went out with the boys, and got the first billfish for the year.
Yeah.
And you just come runner-up for the tournament? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
we're getting up there, yes.
Yeah. What was the billfish?
We caught a striped marlin.
Stripe.
On
Yeah, okay.
24 kilo line.
Yep.
So
Because there were a fair few blues caught down there this year.
there was a couple over that weekend.
Yep.
There are a few getting caught now, and I believe that should be a reasonable year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, I see also now that Gamex is finished, there's an Abrolhos Island billfish tournament kicking off at the moment. I think it's been a day or two into it.
Yep.
And they're catching a few blues, and a black has been caught in that so far as well.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I'd expect them to really, at some stage, they're going to prove that ground up and they're going to do really, really well.
Yeah, and with the way the water temp and that has been, Rottnest has fished well. I would think this year is going to fish well. I know multiple boats have caught blues already in the first day.
Yep.
And also that black, and that's what I know of. I think there's 20-odd boats fishing it, so it should be quite
Covering the
interesting.
ground.
Goes for 6 days apparently,
Yeah, okay.
like Gamex, but only your 4 best count, so you can have a couple of days off.
Yep. Yeah, well, was it part of that Rottnest tournament that the, I don't know, the crew caught the swordfish on a pusher?
No, I think it was
That was just a
like a
random
week
one.
after.
Yeah, okay.
Yep,
'Cause
which
that-
is interesting.
Yeah. That seems fucking nuts.
Yeah, imagine.
Imagine that. Imagine that happened. That is a fishery here, out there worrying about catching swordfish as well as all the others.
Yeah, them
that'd be
jumping
good.
on.
Yeah.
I still want to catch a mako whilst trawling for billfish.
Yeah.
I haven't had that happen yet.
Could you possibly out of here, like with the lights and that, troll those pushers for swordfish at night?
They do slow troll at night. That is a way of targeting swordfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just what made that one exceptional was more so it was the
Yeah,
middle of the day.
daytime. Yeah.
Well, when I was younger and keener, we decided to go out to the Exmouth Plateau.
Yep.
And we hooked up in the middle of the night,
Yep.
trawling pushers because you're going out there at 8 to 10 knots.
Yeah,
Why not
check
chuck some
'em out.
gear out the back? And sure enough, halfway through, something gets on. Had it on for probably 15 minutes. No idea what it was. No, it never will. Because
Yep.
it's dark and
Yeah,
scary
yeah.
and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's a good idea until you get it.
Then we got out there and found that, it does come up a bit, but that's all it does. Maybe we should have got a bit more information before we left.
Yeah.
Found out where it drops off because you can't go out there in one day and find, new ground, you need to spend a bit of time out there. But we believe we could go out there and find a drop off and the fish would just jump in the boat. That didn't happen. No.
How shallow did it come up to, John? Do you remember?
Can't remember. I think it's 340 or something. I think it's a long way out to come up there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, now what you know about daytime sword fishing is probably a better option out there.
Yeah, but the travel now, I believe it's heaps better in close here.
Yeah.
And we'll get them.
Yeah.
Just a matter of more time needs to be spent, but none of us do because there's so much more on offer.
Yeah.
So why would you give up a day chasing blue marlin where you might get 3 or 4 and sit there and you might get something, you might be fishing in sand.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I know I cracked it pretty early on it. So, I mean, you just got to have that iron will, I guess. I know Nagsy, you can tell the determination just to suss it out. So, yeah, just cherry pick it once he works it out.
Yeah, mate, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fishing. I'm just about done. You got anything you want to talk about, Leewold?
Nah, I'm good. That was very interesting, though.
Yep.
How about you, Princey? Anything to say?
Thanks for the opportunity, guys. I just can't wait for Gamex next year. Everyone gets a boat, I think, next year. Free boats given out everywhere. Is that right?
Free boats?
Yeah, well, that's right. Nagsy announced on presentation night at Gamex that Gamex 2022, there will be the major prize will be a North Bank boat valued at $78,000.
Fucking hell.
So, and it's not just for the super talented like John Prince who win the tournament. There will be a minimum entry and it'll be a raffle. And the minimum entry, the talk at the moment without knowing what it'll be, might be you have to catch 2 billfish on 2 separate days and weigh a fish, or it might just be that or something. And then once you've filled that criteria, you get a card or a tag and it goes into the lottery to do it. So, even if there's people out there that think the 6 days of Gamex might be too much for them, if you're going to go fishing on the weekend with your family, pay the entry fee, you could walk away with an $80,000 boat.
Yeah. Good for the prince, good for the pauper.
Sounds like a fantastic idea. Anything to promote the club, get more anglers involved. It's good.
Yeah. They're giving away boats. I get free beer to do the fucking boat auction. I don't up my rate.
Yeah.
Start asking for Bundy or something.
You were saying he was overpaid.
Yeah, that's right. But the problem with Squirly with the boat situation is you'd have to catch 2 fish for the week, so I don't know if you'd be much a chance.
So this is what I'm talking about. You're just fucking nasty, mate. So I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks for the opportunity, guys.
Cheers for chumming up.
Yeah, where's a 6-pack of beer you promised me?
Yeah, it's in the fridge. We'll get it to you.
I thought I was just coming around to drink beer. At least come around, we have a few beers.
This is what we do now. You come around for a drink, we shove a mic in your face.
Okay.
It's all good. All right, cheers for chumming up, and we'll catch you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Hey, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Also, like us on Instagram and Facebook at Chumming Up. And I hope you get out and get amongst them. Cheers.
I like going down the pond chasing bluegills and kamikazes.